うわ、覚醒バージョン残すエロすぎ。パンモノじゃんか。だがそれがいい。
Alrighty, welcome back everybody to Chaos Head Noah. What a fantastic way to start off an episode. Yeah, the last few episodes have been kind of weird, as is really this whole playthrough, but really just trying to understand what is actually happening, which I think is like the main problem, but that's also what makes things pretty interesting. I don't actually remember what specifically happened in the last episode. We came across, I think her name was Senna, which wasn't the first time we saw her, but I guess it's the official time we met her. And she was carrying what she called a D-sword. Oh, I wonder what that is. Totally have never seen that before. Most definitely not. And then also there was the sword that Yua was holding whenever she was performing. Because if you guys... Or no, wait, is her name? No, not Yua. I'm sorry. Fess, and whatever her actual name is. Sorry, I'm getting all of our female characters' names mixed up. We've just been meeting so many crazy people. But yeah, she was also holding a sword during her performance. You can make the assumption that that is a D-sword as well. But what is a D-sword? And do we need to be looking for one? I don't know. I don't know what a D-sword is. Well, let us continue along. We just got our figure, as you guys could probably tell.
顔かわいいよ顔。原作再現度はいまいちだけど、プンプンと漂うエロスが木島義雄らしさだよな。これはこれでグッジョブ。上着キャストオフとか、この角度からじゃほとんど全裸にしか見えんひょー。
Okay.
髪の動きがいいよな。覚醒バージョンは髪が命って持論があるわけだが、間違ってなかったな。さて、それではお待ちかね、パンツ行ってみようか。どれどれ。
Now remember, he's saying this aloud. Like, sure, he's by himself, but still.
シャンの付き方リアルだしって、おお、これ、スージーさん。すげえ。マジですげえ。クオリティ高し。
I don't know what that means. So, to the tips list we go. A Japanese internet expression meaning too high. This particular expression is a complicated kanji pun of the type that was popular on internet message boards in the mid-2000s. It has long since fallen out of fashion, however, and attempts to use it in modern-day Japan would likely be met with bewilderment. A lot of the things that is said here fills me with a lot of bewilderment.
最高傑作爆誕じゃねえ。これ以上すごいのなんて出せないってマジで。やっぱ木島は神。
I carefully placed my new Seraton next to the PC monitor. Sarah, you're so sexy. Just looking at her made me grin. This was a moment of pure joy. I logged on to @chan to share my thoughts on the Seraton figure. It's what I do on Reddit whenever I get shit. When that was done, I checked my email and looked at, what the fuck, for Para to see if I had any new friend requests.
おっと、前触れ申請来てるじゃん。誰これ？セーラコミュの人か。はいはい、ゲイですよ。
And just when I was ready to log into ESO, what's happening here? I felt a prickling on the back of my neck. Uh-oh. It was the same intense gaze that I always felt. Whose eyes are those? Are they my eyes? Are they your eyes? So, I've been getting a lot of helpful comments, which I really do appreciate. You guys know who you are whenever I bring you guys up in the comments, because I can never remember to properly, write down who's commenting what. But I was informed in the last episode that unlike Chaos Child, which I have, I guess, familiarity with, it's actually totally okay to not choose a delusion here and there, because time moves forward as you would expect. And in Chaos Child, and yes, again, I've played through it, I know this for a fact, time doesn't really move forward when you're in delusion mode, which, that has been carried over from Chaos Head. So there's actually 3 choices that you really do get with 3 different, I guess, outcomes. So I guess we don't need to choose here and there. We've actually kind of missed out on some lines of dialogue, and I thought we did. I thought we have a few times, so time is moving forward. And there are times probably when people are around that we should probably, just maybe not go into delusion mode. But since we're by ourselves, it doesn't really matter. Personally, I think going with a delusion right now is okay. When did I first start feeling that gaze? I'd totally forgotten by now. But it kept getting in my way. A lot of things were happening that would interrupt my daily life, but the gaze was right up there with Nanami for being obnoxious. Okay, time to play the game again. Time to play the I'm not turning around that easily game. I kept my eyes locked on my computer monitor and tried to think of a cool line.
貴様、出てこい。僕の目をごまかせるとでも思ったか。甘いな。
I'm sure this will be a fun one. What will he imagine here?
バレちゃった。
We're not in a delusion, actually.
当たり前だ。僕の後ろに立つなと何度言えば。
Huh? Did I just hear a girl's voice? Yeah, the screen's not waving and we're not, high right now, so we're not in a delusion, are we? I froze. Had the owner of the gaze finally shown themselves? Was that possible? Should I turn around and see who she was? But what if she attacked me as soon as I did? She sounded pretty cute, but what if she was a terrible monster? No, if she was a monster, she might be getting ready to attack me right now. If I didn't turn around, I could die before I even realized what was happening. Should I try saying something else to see if she answered? It could have just been a delusion, or maybe I had just been hearing things. Like how I always hear my Seroton figure talking to me, like that. I tried to say, "Who the hell are you?" but I cut myself off. It wouldn't be smart to say anything to set them off, right? I might provoke them into attacking me. I was seeing so many awful things in my delusions that I couldn't move. What should I do? Maybe I was just being an idiot. If there was nobody there, I was just sitting in my chair, and I was scared to death of my own delusions. I'd look like the world's biggest moron, as if you weren't already, but...
あれ、タク
Uh-oh.
固まってる
I have a pretty good idea of who's behind us. It wasn't a delusion. I wasn't hearing things. There was somebody behind me. Shocked, I turned around. Oh. Yep. There she be. Just minus the blood, of course.
どうもどうも
It was the demon girl. It was the girl I'd seen during Crucified. She was right there, sitting on my sofa. For some reason, she was grinning as she looked at me. Oh no, oh no, oh no. She was here to kill me at last. It only took us 3 chapters, but it was because I talked to those cops. She'd used her clairvoyant powers to see me doing it remotely. Oh yeah, that also happened in the last episode. That's kind of important. And now she'd snuck into my room without making a sound so she could watch me cry and scream and beg for mercy, and then kill me. I knew it. Don't kill me, I tried to scream, but I was too scared to get the words out.
コケココ
She stared at me, tilting her head, and recited a strange spell. She must be speaking in the demon language. She was going to curse me. I tried to hide under my desk and put as much distance between us as I could, but I was panicking so much that I hit my head on the edge instead and crumpled to the ground in pain.
何やってるのタク今すっごい音したよコツンって
She still had a happy smile on her face. But it was just a trap to get me to drop my guard. I was sure of it. The second I let my guard down, she would come for me. Or maybe that spell a second ago would curse me. In a few days, my body would start spurting blood from all its pores, and then I'd die.
頼むよ。殺さないで。
I curled up into a little ball on the floor, cursing the detectives I'd met earlier.
警察に喋ったこと謝るから。
警察
それに話してもちっとも信じてもらえてなかったし。
That was just a lie I told to buy time. The detectives had said they'd protect me. If that older guy was doing his job right, he'd surely send an officer to protect me. Then I realized I told the officer my phone number, but I hadn't given him my address.
石
She suddenly struck a pose like she was at attention. And then even more strange, she made the sound effect of her hand snapping to attention with her mouth. Was this another demon spell?
独り言はやめるべし殺さないでとか警察がどうとか私には何のことかさっぱりだよ
She didn't know. Was this some kind of joke? Or was this her way of telling me to forget that anything had ever happened? What was this girl thinking? Hadn't she come here to kill me?
ほら立てる立とう
She got up from the sofa and offered me a hand. Her expression looked so kind, and up close I could tell that she was pretty cute. Wait, what had gotten into me? She was a demon. She wasn't pretty cute. She was a murderer. She used Yua and Shogun to try and set me up, and now she was here to kill me herself. I couldn't let myself believe her. I'd learned my lesson with Yua. I'd never make the same mistake again. I didn't take the hand she offered me. I couldn't let her smile fool me. It was a demonic temptation. And if I gave into it, I'd die. Don't believe in anything. Don't listen to anything anyone says.
だって見たんだお前が人を殺してるとこ
あのさタクそれかなりひどいこと言ってるって気づいてるまさか殺人犯呼ばわりされるなんてねははは
What was she doing here?
ニュージェネの
Like the other 4 times.
殺すんでしょそれとも岩とか将軍とかがいる場所に連れてって
ユア将軍誰それ
Maybe the 3 of them were going to work together and kill me when I was helpless.
そんなのやだ助けて
じゃあね私を殺人犯扱いしなければ助けてあげる
I knew it.
そんなビビらないでよいちいち私がへこむようなリアクションしてくれるよね
お願いだもう二度と誰にも喋らないからだから見逃して
もしもーしタクちょっと落ち着こう
She kept calling me Taku like we were friends. How did she know my name anyway? She'd known my name when we'd first met at the scene of Crucified. How? And how did she know where the base was?
当然でしょあなたの名前を知ってるのは
Wait, why is she reading our mind? She read my mind. She had magic clairvoyant powers, I knew it. That's how she found my name and address.
タクって結構独り言多いよね前から思ってたことだけど
Always? Since when was always? Wait, was I talking to myself? I couldn't tell. Really, was I really talking to myself, or was it possible that she was lying? Was it possible she read my mind?
タクの名前を知らないわけないよ私物覚えはそんなに良くない方だけど友達の名前くらい覚えるよ
Friend.
それともタク私のことバカにしてるそりゃ私テストの点数はそんなに良くないけど面と向かってそういうこと言われると傷ついちゃうな
Was she crazy? Wait, how could I be sure that she was the crazy one? Was I crazy? Or was she?
もしかして転校生
そういえば近いうちに転校生が来るらしいよチカチン先生が言ってた
We were talking past each other. The fear that I could be killed at any moment was starting to fade. But instead another type of fear was slowly working its way through my heart.
もしもし、その顔はまさかまだ信じてくれてない？
誰だ？
Who are you? She was the demon girl, a murderer.
タクこそクラスメートの顔を覚えてないんだ。ひどー。
Were classmates? Not just friends, but classmates.
でもまあしょうがないか。タクはあんまり学校来ないもんね。だからって私の存在丸ごとなかったことにするのはどうかと思う。私の名前本当に忘れちゃった？そんなことないよね。知ってるでしょ？あなたは知ってるはず。
I know I don't. What's going on? Uh-oh. Oh no. Rimi.
み
Why do we know that, though?
正解！賞金50円プレゼント。
Hey, yo, wait a minute.
私、崎畑リミです。なんだ、やっぱり覚えててくれたんだね。よかったよかった。
Why? Was it true? Was the demon girl's name really Rimi? Why had that name just come to me all of a sudden? Why did I know who she was? Had I just forgotten, and we really were classmates or friends or something? No, that was impossible. I'd never even heard the name Rimi. Oh wait, we also have a... Well, we have the full name here, gang. Oh my god. Rimi Sakihata. It had to be a fake name. I had said Rimi, and she just played along with it. That was all just part of her game. The only 3D girl I knew who would talk to me like this was Yua anyway. And Yua worked for her. In a flash, I suddenly understood. This Sakihata girl was using the same trick Yua had. Or had used, excuse me. She was being all friendly, knowing that I wasn't used to talking to 3D girls, and then she'd set me up to fall into a trap. Of course, I didn't remember the faces of all of my classmates, and I wasn't interested in trying. But I was sure I'd never seen her in my class. Wasn't I? No, I couldn't be sure. Every minute I spent at school, I spent at my desk, either enjoying delusions while pretending to sleep, or staring at the desk or pretending to read a textbook. I didn't remember any of my classmates' names. I'd never cared enough. Which was it? Was what this girl was saying true? No, it didn't matter whether or not she was a classmate. The one thing I was sure of was that she was a murderer.
もしかして本気で思い出せないの？さっき頭打ったせいで記憶喪失になっちゃった？
The demon girl reached out a hand towards my head. I ran under the desk again to dodge it.
タク、変だよ。じゃあ、大地に聞いてみて。そしたら、タクも思い出せるかも。
Daichin? What the hell was that? A person's name? Some kind of a code? A demon spell?
大地だよ、大地。三角大輔。
Oh. She knew Misumi's name, and she called him Daichin. You wouldn't do that unless you were pretty friendly with him.
ちょっと待ってね。
She went over to the bag next to the sofa. It wasn't one that I had owned, and took out her phone.
大地はと。よし、オッケー。はい。
She tapped it a few times and handed it to me. When I didn't take it, she chuckled and grabbed my hand.
ほら、固まってないで。
She forced the phone into my hand. The demon girl's hand was soft and a little cold. I was expecting it to be as cold as ice, but it wasn't. I guess even murderers have warm blood running through their veins. Actually, it was a more girly hand than I had expected, so my heart started to race a little. No, I couldn't let her fool me. Yeah, come on. We got this. She was a demon. I couldn't let her tempt me. I wasn't into 3D girls. Seroton, give me power.
タク、携帯使ったことないの？電話機は耳に当てるんだよ。
She was so close to me, staring. She took my hand and brought it up to my ear. I looked at the phone's LCD screen. The phone said Daichin on it, and it showed that it was already calling him. I put the phone up to my ear. I could hear the sound of the ringing, but then the sound cut off and what I heard was... Huh? Was he talking to me or to the demon girl? Why had he said that? Whoever I was talking to, they were silent. They didn't give a name. They must have been outside somewhere downtown because I could hear the hustle and bustle of a crowd around them. I was confused. I couldn't speak. I didn't know what to say. Misumi, if it really was him, quickly resumed speaking as he usually did. Rimi Sakihata. Misumi knew her. No, that wouldn't be that surprising. Misumi was a natural-born lady killer. I wouldn't be surprised if he dated her before, or even if he was dating her right now. The question remained, was the demon girl my classmate?
Taku, Daichin deta?
She was staring at me again. Damn it. Why did she have to be so close to me? I turned my back to her and spoke into the phone.
僕、西条。
なんだ、タクか。リミと一緒にいるのか?
Why didn't he find it surprising at all? It almost sounded like he expected us to be together.
またリミに振り回されてるのか? 大変だな、お前も。でもよ、一つだけ言っていいか? お前、そろそろ自分の携帯変えよ。
Wait, we already did though, right? Was the person on the end of this line really Misumi? It was possible that she was just having me call somebody with a voice similar to his to fool me. The person with the Misumi-like voice was working for her maybe and trying to trick me. I was starting to get suspicious of everything. I didn't know what was the truth and what was a lie. Assuming the demon girl was willing to put in the time and effort to set up a trap like that, what kind of trap was it specifically? Wouldn't it be faster for her to just kill me here? Or was there some reason that I had to be deceived, even if it meant doing so in a really roundabout way? Wait, could it be some kind of trick Misumi was setting up? This girl was his girlfriend, and not a classmate at all, but someone he'd sent just to make fun of me. No, wait, not a chance. How would you explain the crucified murder then?
で、タク、なんか用か? 俺としては野郎からの電話なんてあんま嬉しくねえんだけどな。
It certainly sounded like Misumi. The more I heard him talk, the less likely it seemed that the person I was talking to could be anybody but Misumi.
女の口説き方でも教えてもらいたいのか? なわけねえか。
I wasn't sure where to start. I could feel someone looking at me from behind. The girl was staring at me. And the prickling on the back of my neck was still there. What kind of face was she making? I wanted to look back and see, but I was too scared.
で、なんなんだ? 今俺も女と一緒なんだよ。なるべく手短に頼むわ。
その、
なんだよ。早く言えって。
うちの
ん？
クラス。
ああ、うちのクラスがどうした？
いる。
何が？
女子。
あ？
咲畑って名前の。
I was stammering really badly, but I finally managed to explain to him. Could you really call that an explanation of any sort? He suddenly fell silent. There was no answer, but I could still hear the bustle of the crowd, so he hadn't hung up. Why wasn't he answering? Okay. I heard a massive sigh.
お前さ、ゲーム脳じゃねえの?
What was he talking about? And anyway, it wasn't true that video games damage your brain. Sure about that?
リミの 携帯でかけてきてるくせに何バカなこと言ってんだお前。わかった。お前もしかしてリミに何か指図されてんだろう。いたずらかドッキリか。じゃあリミに伝えといてくれ。お前の低レベルのドッキリに引っかかるほど俺はバカじゃねえってな。
本当？
何が？
本当にクラスメイト。
お前な、たまにしか学校来ねえから忘れちまったか。俺はともかくお前は1年の時から同じクラスだろ。この前だって3人で一緒に映画見に行ったじゃねえか。
I couldn't understand what this Misuki-like person was saying. Isn't it Misumi? The demon girl and I had been in the same class the whole time. The three of us went to see a movie the other day. When was the other day?
俺がお前とダチになったのだって。最初はリミに付き合わされたのがきっかけだったしな。俺と同じでリミも物好きだからよ。ニートのお前を気にかけてやってるのは世界広しといえど俺とリミぐらいだぜ。あ、それは言い過ぎか。
Not a single one of the words coming through the phone felt real. How could they? None of the things he was describing existed in my memories. I couldn't accept that they'd ever happened. What this Misumi-like person... Okay, thank God. That was a spelling mistake. I was like, what's his name? It's Misumi. Misumi-like person was telling me wasn't true. It wasn't real. If something really happened, you'd remembered it.
っていうか、リミってマジで女っ気ないよな。おっと、これはあいつには言うなよ。
君は誰だ？
おいおい、マジでおかしくなったか。俺のことまで忘れたわけか。ゲームやりすぎ。
I couldn't take any more, so I hung up the phone. I suddenly realized that I was having trouble breathing. The sweat coming off my brow showed no signs of stopping. If anything, it was getting worse. I could feel it dripping off of me and landing on the ground below.
たく、汗びっしょりだよ。
The demon girl looked genuinely worried as she handed me a handkerchief. It was a cute red one with no pattern on it. The handkerchief had a slightly floral scent. I didn't take it. Instead, I tried to get straight to my head what was going on. It didn't work, though. I just started getting suspicious of everything.
で、大臣はなんて？
She gave a slightly disappointed sigh as she put away the handkerchief. Then she took on a victor's smile. It was as if she'd known the answer from the start. I didn't have the strength to answer her. Who was this woman? Just my classmate or a monster? I didn't know. Maybe I was just crazy. Thinking back to my chat with Shogun, I couldn't be sure that someone else wasn't controlling my body. Or maybe there was some kind of accident that took my memories of this Rimi Sakihata girl away from me, and left my other memories intact. What the hell was wrong with me? Amnesia? Sleepwalking? Something else?
大丈夫？体、辛いならソファーで横になる？
The demon girl spoke kind words to me. I needed to be especially careful around anyone who said kind words to me. Anybody who'd be nice to a creepy otaku like me definitely had some kind of ulterior motive. I shook my head no and then forced myself to look up. The sweat got in my eyes and made my vision blurry. Her face was closer than I thought it would be. What color were her eyes?
なんで？
Same fucking color as her hair.
何何？
Through the power of anime, of course, you
こ
know?
こにいる。
なんでって、タクに会いに来たんだよ。もしかして勝手に部屋に入ったこと怒ってる？でもそれはタクがちっとも返事してくれないから悪いんだよ。結構長い時間ノックしてたんだから。
I handed back the phone. As I watched her take it, I asked again.
なんで
ん今度は何？
ここにいる？
Why had she visited me? Or why had she visited me, excuse me. If she came here to kill me, why wasn't she doing anything?
ああ、ここに来た理由？ね。
Her hand went to her bag, and she took out a handout.
進路希望のプリント持ってきてあげたの。
Wait, why did she say hello? That doesn't make sense. I took it from her. It said post-graduation plans with 3 blocks below for first preference, second preference, and third preference. Was that really it? Was that the only reason?
帰ってよ。
That was weird. You know what? I'm actually noticing like more mistakes or like weird sentence structure issues all in this one episode, more so compared to like all the other episodes I've recorded so far. Like when she said hi and in that sort of way, doesn't that mean usually like here you go? Take not hello in that case, right? That I don't know Japanese, so I'm kind of just assuming, but yeah, I don't know, that was weird. And then like the spelling mistake, and sometimes sentences roll off a little weird. I don't know, just like this episode specifically has been a little weird so far. All the Committee of Zero watchers are like, good, it's working. I didn't want anything to do with her. It was a terrible idea to get involved with 3D girls. This was some kind of trap. Don't listen to her. This isn't real. This is a video game, a really buggy game. Look at, well, you're not wrong. Look at all these weird plot contradictions. It doesn't make any sense as a story.
僕に関わらないでよ。
If you're not here to kill me, then just go away. I'm me, not somebody else. Maybe some other me was friends with Rimi Sakihata, but that had nothing to do with the real me. I put my head in my hands and closed my heart to the outside world. I shivered, trying to imagine a delusion where the girl named Rimi Sakihata wasn't in my room. I soon heard the sound of the door opening, which told me that the demon girl had left. Are we safe? Oh, whoa, okay. I guess we are. The only light in the dark room was the pale blue glow of the monitor. It was a screensaver featuring Sarah, a character from Blood Toon, the animation. We know about her. Rimi Sakihata had been here in this container house just half a day ago, but now its only occupant was its owner, Takumi Nishijo. It was getting close to 5 a.m. Takumi's daily life revolved around playing video games until dawn and then passing out on the sofa. Right now he was curled up in a cramped position on the sofa. He didn't sleep on the bed. He had one, but he didn't sleep in it because it was piled too high with CDs and manga volumes. At first he'd just been too lazy to clean it off, and then at some point it began to function as a storage shelf. Ever since then he'd been sleeping on the 2-person sofa. An awful moan slipped from Takumi's lips. His body was soaked in sweat, and his eyelids were twitching. He might have been having a nightmare. His expression warped with pain. He kept tossing and turning as he lay there, almost falling off. Suddenly his eyes opened wide, and he stared at the ceiling. His eyes were bloodshot, and the eyeballs themselves seemed to be twitching a little. He stood up without blinking even once, and staggered over to his PC. He didn't sit down, instead he moved the mouse while standing up. The screensaver on his monitor disappeared and was replaced by his desktop. His expression, illuminated by the pale light of the monitor, was vacant and empty. His body trembled and shook from side to side. Drool pooled and fell from his mouth. He looked exactly like the typical sleepwalker. He opened up his internet browser in a trance and went to the page for @chan. His movements were slow and uneven, but there was no hesitation in his hands as he went directly for the newsboard's NewGen threads, There were almost 60 in all, and Takumi opened every single one. His gaze was locked on the screen as he was typing on the keyboard without looking down at it. Wait, why does it say NewGen? Why does it say that? It's the new generation madness and I can't bear it. And then it says NewGen. Has it always said that? And I just, you know, never noticed? He typed a message into each of the 60 threads. The messages he typed were short ones, and the same message was posted in every thread. I'm sure. Yep, there it is. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There it is. There's our confirmation right there. Yeah. All right. So there is another personality. That kind of confirms it, right? But he is quite literally logging into another account on his own computer. Wouldn't he be able, like, you know, while he's fully conscious and himself or whatever, be able to just, like, load in and see, like, history, basically check out, like, you know, information on who was logged in, you know? I'm sure you can pull that data up. The next day I headed to the hospital. Last time I hadn't been able to get the assurance I wanted, but today I was going to make them tell me I was sane. I was going to have the doctor remember me. I was going to tell him that I was his patient until 4 years ago, and then I was going to have him listen to everything I had to say. I wasn't the crazy one. It was the demon girl in Misumi. I knew that's what he would tell me. And this hospital opened at 8, earlier than a lot of them, and that's why I decided to come right on time. Only to find the lobby sofas packed with old people. How? How could there be this many people here when it had just opened? Had they all cheated and got here before it opened somehow? That's not fair. I was angry, but I didn't have any choice but to wait. Aren't hospitals, in a way, kind of like always open? It was after an hour of waiting that I realized I should have made an appointment. But very shortly after, they called my name, and I was relieved to see that I wouldn't have to wait as long as last time. Off we go. But the doctor waiting for me in the exam room wasn't Dr. Takashina, but a white-haired old man I'd never seen before.
Takashina sensei wa?
The nurse standing behind him, Hazuki I think, answered apologetically.
高階先生はもういません。
Isn't here?
もういないというか、過労がたたって先週末に倒れてしまわれてね。今週はそれでずっと休みだよ。
Wow, alright, that is terrible timing. Oh no, my one ally. Wait, was it really overwork that had made him collapse?
陰謀だ。悪魔女の陰謀だ。
西条さん
She must have poisoned his food or sent him a threatening letter to stress him out. It was the demon girl's doing. She was trying to isolate me. I had no intention of letting anybody but Dr. Takashina talk to me, so instead of getting an exam, I fled from the hospital. So we waited a whole full fucking terrible ass hour. However else you can really just describe that hour. And we did nothing as a result of waiting. We just ran. Got it. I leaned up against the fence on the roof and looked up at the sky. Shibuya's sky was an ugly color.
病院にはもう行かない方がいい。
The demon girl's net was closing in on me. Maybe there was nowhere for me to run. Maybe that detective I'd met yesterday was actually a fake and working for her. Maybe she'd used him to test me. I mean, the timing was just too good to be a coincidence. She showed up in my room right after the two of them had approached me. She was a demon after all. She wasn't human. She could easily control somebody's mind. I didn't have any proof of this, of course, but I also didn't have any proof that she wasn't a demon. So I just had to assume the worst if I was going to survive. Wasn't there anybody on my side? Everybody felt like my enemy. Everybody felt like they were working for the demon girl.
助けて。誰か助けてよ。
Why didn't I have anybody on my side? Why was no one helping me? Why did this have to happen to me? I felt so lonely. I wanted something to support me. Someone to protect me. Something to protect me. Anything, anybody who could offer me help. I have a bad feeling as to who's going to pop up now. And I thought back to Fess, to Ayase Kishimoto, that's her name, and what she told me when I had met her at school. I'd been too busy with my delusions to hear it, but Misumi had told me that she'd said this: "Find the sword and salvation awaits."
Ken.
If this was a video game, the plot would probably involve me being a hero who needed to find a legendary sword to defeat a demon king. Oddly enough, I'd heard the word sword from 2 3D girls lately. And there was still a chance that Fess was on my side. Girl B, Senna I think, was likely on the side of the demon girl from the way she'd acted though. A sword.
剣だ。剣を手に入れるんだ。そうすれば。
I whispered to myself as if I was in a trance. I was willing to cling to any hope now, no matter how small. If I could just get the sword, I would be released from this nightmare. I didn't know that for sure, but I had to hope. I didn't 100% believe Fess when she said it would bring me salvation, but I didn't have any other options. I decided to just look into it and see what I found. Are we alone in here? I think we're alone in here. Yep, we are. We're searching the web. I ran a search online. First, I checked to see if there were any anime where characters had swords like the ones Fess and Senna had, but I didn't find any. I'd mostly seen that coming. I always kept an eye on upcoming anime. Yeah, I used to do that too. There were 30 or 40 each season, so it was pretty hard, but I always watched the first episode of each series and then decided if I was going to continue it. And of course, I could watch anything that was on satellite TV using YouTube. So there was no way I could have missed one. And I hadn't seen any anime with weird swords, especially ones with such a distinctive shape. I would have been sure to remember them if they'd shown up, but I didn't remember seeing anything like them at all. Unless, of course, I'd been controlled by someone else when I watched the show. Next, I decided to search for the swords themselves, not anime.
ほとんどがゲームの攻略サイトじゃんか。
Some of the swords that came up in the results were ones I recognized well, like ESO's Shangri-La Edge. It wasn't getting anywhere. I needed to find that sword and fast. I had a feeling that Senna girl had said something more specific. What was it? Remember or you'll be stuck in this nightmare forever.
答えろ。見えるんだな。ディソードが。
ディソード。
Yes. The item of which I know nothing about. I totally have no idea what that is. Right, the D sword. I searched for that word. I wonder what will come up here. Nothing. Oh, here we go. And I got hits. We have the fantasy term wiki amnesia by a sort of negative darkness unleashed on the world called a D-sword, a fictional weapon said to be created in the ancient ages of Europe by, what the fuck, Gladiael? The king of wicked hearts. Made by feeding on humanity's negative emotions, they eventually came to devour the hearts of the Black Knights who took them. What makes them distinct from other sacred or magical swords is something or other. And then I bought a D-sword, blog of a bored guy. Yeah, let's not read that one. Just 2, but these 2 links felt like the path that would save me. Desperately trying to calm my excitement, I decided to click on the top one first. Oh, well that sucked. Shit, it was down. Damn it. Why did it have to be a dead link? No, I needed to calm down. I just had to go back and click on the cached version. Is there a cached version? Yeah, there we go. The page had an illustration. It was based off a description and an old text, supposedly. This seems like a lot of reading.
元ネタは伝承か。
So, what else does it say? An unarmed warrior would wave his hand and just as in the tales of Kamaitachi, their foe's arm would be cut clean from their body and fall to the ground without them so much as feeling it. There are many tales in the old legends of weapons like this which defy natural law. And the D-swords themselves appear in several apocrypha and ancient texts. The D-swords are considered to be another instance of the Kamaitachi phenomenon. And they are fictional creatures often depicted as monsters with sharp scythes on their I feel like this is not telling us anything, to be totally honest. Like, from the teeny tiny bit I actually do know of D-swords, because, Chaos Child and all that, I feel like this is not important. I could be wrong, but I really feel like this is nothing. Yeah, that doesn't even look like...
セナって女が持ってたのに比べると、こっちは随分地味だな。
Yeah, there you go. Why did it have to be such a minor weapon anyway? Why couldn't it be Excalibur or the blade of Kusanagi or something else big and famous? No, this wasn't the time to complain. Whether it was famous or not, if it was going to save me, I didn't care. I decided to look into it a bit more. Oh no, we're going to this other one. I tried the second link on the search page. The phrase "I bought a D-sword" stood out to me. Could you buy D-swords? I think this is, garbage, but, whatever. Look, there's even a profile on the right, and the title of this shit is The Daily Diary of a Masturbation Addict. Why are we going to read this? The author was evidently a man, which meant it wasn't the demon girl or Senna. I bought a sword. It's called a D-sword, I heard. I just love how freaking weird it is. Town Vanguard is my heart's oasis. These days, you don't see many stores as weird as this place, or that place outside Akihabara. And they certainly didn't have the same writing style as Shogun. Either they were a different person entirely, or the person writing the blog was deliberately disguising their writing style. There was no way to tell from here, so I stopped reading. The store the page referred to was Town Vanguard, and it was evidently in Shibuya. It felt like too much of a coincidence, or maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe the reason I'd run into two girls carrying D-swords in Shibuya was that the place was selling them was here. Weird things got popular with small subgroups of people here in Shibuya all the time, right? Yeah, I'm not reading all that. Like, congratulations, or sorry that happened. I don't know, I didn't read that. I searched for Town Vanguard, but I couldn't find the store's page. I did find a page with a map, so I downloaded it. If they didn't have a public page, they probably didn't have an online store either. I searched the Taboo auction site too, but didn't find anything. I'd have to go to the store directly to see for myself. I didn't really want to leave the house, but...
剣は手に入れなくちゃ。手に入れないとダメなんだ。
At this point, it felt like the one good option I had for fighting off the demon girl. I didn't know what exactly I would do once I got the sword. I didn't have the courage to try to kill her with it or anything, but something inside me made me think that if I got the sword, maybe I'd feel just a little less afraid. That was it. The D-sword was like a good luck charm, something to keep me going. There was something strangely compelling about it. So off we go to get a D-sword. I'm sure this is exactly what we need to do. Buy a D-sword. That's how we obtain this mystical looking weapon. Absolutely. Alrighty, we'll end the episode here. And I guess we know what we're doing in the next one. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, thank you all for watching this episode, albeit very strange, again, is how, all these episodes tend to be, and with some actual mistakes. So, yeah, Committee of Zero, let's go. I can't wait for that patch. Let's fix things up. But back on what we've been going through here in this episode, it kind of feels like Takumi has kind of jumped world lines for those that have gone through the Steins Gate adventure here in the Science Adventure series, jumping from one timeline to another, and things are just so out of place. We are unable to get our bearings. It's as if things are established in such a different way, and we aren't even, realizing it. Because we have this character that is basically stating that they've been established in this story, but we have absolutely no idea who they are. So we can call complete bullshit on a lot of it. But then it's like, how does everybody else know? Did she like Soul Reaper her way in? Like, it just, I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Something is definitely going on the other side. I don't think it's an actual world line jump or anything like that, but it feels like it. It really does. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. It'll be a while, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. Thank you all for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, you know the rest. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.